Cavaliers and Damian Lillard's Portland Trail Blazers pick it up in the third quarter. As expected, Blazer
hit him with the
backcourt.
Smith. I know that's going to be our Smitty's top 5 plays under the rim.
Kind of half Smitty. I liked it.
It was good enough.
Lillard had 33 on the night. Look at the footwork from Al-Farouq Aminu as he sets up C.J. McCollum. McCollum went for 19. Portland up by 13. So we've seen the backcourt. How about the big fella, Jusuf Nurkic?
So talented. Matt, we always say he has to step up and be that third wheel.
So it's almost unfair what the kind of responsibility we're placing on him.
A lot. You're right.
Yeah.
It is unfair.
If they're going to be great in the playoffs, Nurkic is going to have a big role.
He's the guy.
Did a little of everything in this game. First career triple-double for Nurk.
Nice,
10 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks.
And a great screen right there, too.
For Nurk.
Grown man screen.
Blazers win it by 17. Lillard records his 15th 30-point games of the season. All right, how about the Jazz playing their best ball of the season despite missing all his point guards? They're down 3 of them at the moment, which means even more on that guy's shoulders. Donovan Mitchell doing some stuff in L.A.
Don't do him like that, Spider Mitchell. And then the finish with the left.
He had 28 on the night. Third quarter, Rudy Gobert.
Put him in the blender.
Here comes Rudy Gobert.
Love his activity. Right there at the rim, cleaning up everything. Great pass, great finish.
7 of 10.
They don't really call walk a lot in the NBA anymore.
Maybe. Sure. 7 of 10 from the field, 23 points, 22 rebounds for Gobert. Jazz pulling away. It's Jay Crowder, then it's Kyle Korver. Between the two of them, they knocked down 9 threes on the night. Jazz win at 129-109. They're legitimately down 3 point guards, and they've won 5 in a row.
Just shows you their toughness, the grit that they have, and great coaching by Quinn Snyder, the brotherhood.
What? The brother who?
The brotherhood.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Come on over.
You guys can pick that up later. At the buzzer. Really should have done that with the accent, I think. You got to try it, right?
Yeah, at least try it.
Knicks and Wizards across the pond from London. See, we've got the music. We're in the spirit of things.
Go to the loo.
Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. You could have chosen the lift or any other.
I don't know.
Any number of other terms. You went with the loo.
The loo, yes.
Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know how you guys view this. It's a long NBA season. It's a grind, obviously. But to me, this just almost seems like a little mini vacation in the middle of all of it.
You know, yeah, I mean, in a way it is, but I do think the challenge is when you come back.
Yeah.
You know, teams that have gone over and come back, and now you have to sort of reacclimate yourself, and that first few games back can work against you. But, yeah, you get a little break, go across the pond.
You get a little mini vacation, get to hang out. A lot of guys bring their family with them. So it's a little bit of a mini vacation. You get to chill out and reflect. But like Grant Hill said, when you come back, ooh, that time difference and everything hits you.
So it is like a vacation. Same thing for the rest of us, right?
Something like it.
Disappointed you didn't try the accents either.
Fish and chips.
Sure, close enough. Ended Toronto's 5-game win streak, and I believe, I don't have the standings in front of me, I believe that knocked Toronto out of the best record in the league, right? Milwaukee won tonight?
Something like it.
I'll double check this.
Milwaukee is, Milwaukee's 32-12. Milwaukee's number 1.
117-108. Thank you very much. There's your final, and here's Kyrie Irving. Not that Kyrie necessarily had to say something about who should be closing games in Boston, but there's no better evidence than what we just saw.
Yeah, and when we talked about it there, I mean, you know, probably one of the best closers. You know, won games, playoff games, championship, game 7s. You know, and they needed that. I mean, the 3 bad losses they had on the road at Orlando, at Miami, Brooklyn as well. So to get back home against a great team, Kyrie Irving came out, played great. Of course, Toronto, give them credit. They fought back in the game, made it a close game, but Irving down the stretch is just too good.
Yeah, Irving down the stretch is incredible, and I liked how he bounced back from the adversity that he had been through. There, obviously, in the Orlando game, he wasn't happy with the way the game ended. He didn't get the ball, felt that he should have gotten the ball. Made some comments that his teammates didn't like. He later reeled it back in, but instead of harping on it, he made his apology, went past it, and this game he proved why he needs to be the guy that gets the ball at the end of the game. And so it's more about showing than talking about it with your mouth. He showed why he should be the closer, hitting big shot after big shot. And I think that's something that these young guys on this team can respect, because you can talk about it, But these young guys last year, they were a game away from the NBA Finals, so all the lip service doesn't matter. They want to see it.
Right.
And tonight, Kyrie showed that Uncle Drew was in the building, and he was saying Uncle Drew needs the ball in the clutch.
His clutch resume is pretty good, as you made mention of.
Sometimes people forget, so you got to, just when they forget, you got to remind them who you really are.
You're from Missouri, right?
Yes.
Show me state.
You got to show me.
Sometimes you got, especially younger people.
It's absolutely true. So 2-1, Boston leads the season series now. What do you feel like you know about these two teams were they to hook up in a playoff series?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely not. Because Boston has been so inconsistent all year long. They have these big wins, and then they will baffle you, and they'll get blown out by somebody that they shouldn't be blown out by. So I'm waiting to see for Boston to show me some consistency. I know they have the best talent in the Eastern Conference. I'm waiting for that talent to come together consistently like it did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Brendan said it best. I mean, we see this performance tonight by Boston, but then they're the type of team that, next time could be blown out by 25. And so they have to figure it out. I think we all knew it would take some time as you reinsert Kyrie Irving from last year, Hayward coming off the injury, guys who had great roles last year and came out of, Tatum and Brown. But we thought it'd be figured out by now. And it's a little bit alarming. Great win tonight, but they didn't look great the last 3 games.
Right.
They can put together maybe the second half of the season, just a run of games, a week or two, or 2 or 3 weeks where they get hot and they start playing the basketball we all anticipated. Then you might start saying, okay, this is the Boston team. But until then, I'd probably go more with Toronto just because I know what I'm going to get from Toronto. The consistency of what they've shown throughout the season will carry over to the playoffs.
Even within this game in the fourth quarter when Toronto was going on I think it was a 9-0 or 10-0 run to get back into the game and retake the lead, Boston had some terrible possessions before Kyrie kind of took over the game.
That's the difference between these two teams. The consistency that Toronto has, the role definition. Though you rarely see guys get out of character for the Toronto Raptors. Everybody knows their role. We played through Kyle Lowry, we played through Kawhi, and I get my shots off of them, and that's why everything moves smoothly. When you watch Boston, those Boston players sometimes hold the ball just a second too much. And that 1 second, that's the difference between getting a good shot and a great shot because they're all looking and trying to figure out when is it my turn to get mine? And that can be a problem at times when you don't have those roles clearly defined.
No, I mean, you said it best. I mean, you look at Boston, and obviously Kyrie Irving is who he is. He's the best player on the team. But, Tatum was the go-to guy last year in the playoffs. And then you have, Terry Rozier, who has a chip on his shoulder, and it feels like he should be getting his numbers. Hayward is a guy who's been accustomed to being that guy. So you have a lot of guys who are accustomed to being the alpha male and now having to figure out how to adjust and adapt and fit in. And it's not working right now, whereas, it's not working consistently.
Right.
But in Toronto, it's clearly defined.
Sure.
And so that's why they've been able to play at a high level, pretty consistent throughout the year.
Good one tonight in Boston, and the Celtics beat Toronto 117-108. Checking in on the Pelicans.
Harden backs up and tries it again. Yes! He does it again! Harden met by Morris. Harden on the drive. Yes! And the foul. Here comes a step back three. Again down the hatch it goes for James Harden. Step back. Is that the most unstoppable shot in basketball? It's unbelievable. Harden! How do you like me now? James flexing those muscles. Oh, James Harden with an MVP performance.
You see that group of players right there, very impressive. James Harden sitting at the top of the list. Oh, asterisk, Wilt Chamberlain is really at the top, the Big Dipper. But nevertheless, James Harden is impressive. 17 straight games of scoring 30 or more. Crazy. So, fellas, number one, how impressive is this? And Fish, I'm actually going to start with you because the person who's right behind James Harden, who we just passed, you had the pleasure of sharing the backcourt with Kobe Bryant, and you witnessed him put together some of these magnificent performances. Comparing the two players, which one, in your opinion, was more dominant during their streak?
Oh, that's a great question. James, it feels more dominant, I think, in terms of what James is doing because of the 57, the 40-plus that was mixed in there. I felt like Kobe's was more consistent. Like, he literally could have just scored 32, 35 every night, and maybe he had a breakout here or there. I think also James has been needed to score this many just for the Rockets to have a chance to win. But there's no way I could have imagined another player doing that at that time. To think that now Harden has surpassed Kobe on that list is an amazing accomplishment.
Looking at Harden's ceiling, go ahead, chime in just on the level of play that he's been able to maintain and continue to play at this level while missing CP3, Capella out, and all these other players. His usage is through the chart.
Yeah, it's bonkers. I mean, and it's part of the evolution of what James Harden has been in this system, in Mike D'Antoni's system. When you have the opportunity to control the action the way that he does, and you're that gifted a passer and scorer and creator, to me, that's what elevates his performance to another level. I know Kobe, I don't know that there's ever been a guy who was as demonic a scorer as Kobe, like who could just rip a team's heart out and, strike the fear in everybody the way he did. But he didn't always have the assist numbers like James Harden does. Harden is doing the scoring, and he's creating for everybody else in ways that I don't know. And that's not a knock on Kobe. I just don't know that it was the same type of creation in terms of shots for everybody else. But what Harden's done to catch T-Mac and Kobe and then pass them, unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable. But one way he does it is he's creative offensively. He's able to get to the line. And as you see by the numbers, over the past 3 seasons, he is by far the leader in getting to the free throw line with his free throw attempts. It is ridiculous. Russell Westbrook, his former teammate, is right there, but Harden is clearly head and shoulders above everybody else. So what we're going to do right now, we're out here on the court for a reason. The coach, Derek Fisher, is going to demonstrate the techniques that the bearded one uses to get to the court because, hey, we got to get this knowledge, and you got it all.
That's a tough task.
I don't always get caught up in this kind of stuff.
He's a lefty, and we have a volunteer right now. Sekou Smith is going to demonstrate right here, and I'm just going to sit back and watch.
All right, well, let's come out this way as we take a look at James Harden here going right and literally wrapping his left arm around Paul Millsap's inside hand there. You see Millsap right arm away from his body. James Harden locks his left arm around his, right? And so when you think about this, we used to hand check before, right? When we played defense. So to replace the hand checking, a lot of players have gone to this type of position so that hand is not out. So now James is feeling what used to be an arm bar on his body. They have to come off his body now for freedom of movement with the rules. So as he's driving right, he sees that arm away from your body, and he now comes up as though he's getting ready to go into his shooting motion on his way downhill, and the referees are trained to watch the defender. That's who is going to cause more problems for the referee is the defender, not the offensive player. So they look up, they see the defender's arms wrapped around the offensive player. That's a foul on the defender, and he's become one of the most crafty offensive players at creating fouls that I've ever seen. So he used multiple ways of doing it. That's one way that he does it. There's another way when he's penetrating downhill, whether it's right or left. So let's say he's going to his left this time. He's driving to the basket, and he shows this ball to Sekou. Sekou feels like, hey, I got quick hands. I can get this steal. Soon as he extends, he come across, boom, arms come up, right into another foul situation.
He does it all the time. That's the thing about it. Fish, I'm stunned that these guys have not caught on. These defenders have not caught on. And I love when the Lakers earlier this year, they were like, hands behind the back. Like, the only way to do this is hands behind the back, because if you stick it out there for James Harden, even if there's no real contact, he can exaggerate it and sell fouls to the official. I know some people don't like that. Smart basketball, though, when you consider if Kobe or Michael got a chance to play in an era where freedom of movement was an emphasis.
Oh, my goodness.
So
it
listen,
could have been crazy.
It would have been crazy. So we've seen the demonstration, hand check, no hand check, arm bar extended. But what about the world famous step back that he's known for? We got to demonstrate that.
Well, for Harden, it's gone from step back to side step, right? So as a left-handed player, now that I've created foul situations, your hands have to stay off of my body. I step sideways to get a little bit of separation from you. Now when you contest, I stick the leg out a little bit. Kind of looks like my natural shooting motion.
Kind of.
George Hill didn't even leave the floor that time. But because James Harden wasn't able to come straight back down, foul called on George Hill. This time, JaMychal Green trying to slide with him. and knocking him around, and that's a foul on Sekou.
Right.
I'm going to get 3 free throws.
That step back is amazing. He'll definitely go down the line.
Did he create this? I'm trying to remember. Is there another player who used the step back? Like, I mean, now you see Luka Doncic. You see other players doing it, their own version of it. But who employed this tool like this prior to James Harden? I don't remember anybody really going to it as often as he does.
I don't know if he created it, but he definitely has pioneered what looks to be more of a sidestep. For a long time, we were taught to step back, drive the defender that way, step back this way.
Which is, in turn, a more difficult shot to take if you're stepping back.
Much more difficult. Yeah. The sidestep, which is Harden is doing, really allows you to still stay more square to the basket, and then I think be able to add some multiple dribble moves behind that. So real smart evolution by Harden.
The evolution also, he's allowed to maybe take a step or two extra.
Stop it. We saw Steph try it. Didn't work.
Saw Steph try it. Hey, we got more coming on Game Time. Don't go anywhere. Defense, Sekou Smith.
Oh, my God.
Shoot the shot. Shoot the shot. Buckets.